Any of you guys watching Palm Royale? Oh, it's one of my favorites too. It's my pleasure to introduce our panelists. We have showrunner, writer, director, executive producer, Abe Sylvia. Director, executive producer, Tate Taylor. We have a couple of unknown actors here. We have Kristin Wiig and Josh Lucas. Give them a warm Deadline Contenders welcome, you guys. Woo. Okay, before we begin, here's your look at Palm Royale.
Are you sure you want to keep her here? It is a big responsibility.
Oh, we're up to it.
But that smell is kind of unpleasant. I don't know where exactly it's coming from.
Shh, Douglas. We don't know what she can hear or not hear. The home says she's in a twilight stupor, which, from what I understand, is catty-corner to coma.
Well, can she talk?
Oh, well, poor dear can sort of moan and yodel, but consonants are off the table.
I don't know. Shouldn't she be under the care of medical professionals?
No. Look, all we have to do is flip her over every 30 minutes to keep her blood flowing, give her a shot every 6 hours. The home showed me how to do it.
Seriously?
You know, in the short amount of time I've spent with Norma, I've grown kind of close to her. Poor dear, she's got a rotten deal withering away in that place. We are going to show her the best care we can.
Well, I guess it's the least we can do for her, considering all the ka-ching that's coming our way.
About that, Douglas, so I'm going to have to tell you.
Max?
Well, while I was attending to Norma's guardianship, I became aware of something that will disturb you.
Uh-huh.
When she passes, her estate is going to a cat sanctuary.
Why would she do that?
I'm sure she was non-compos mentis when she made that decision.
I'm her favorite nephew. I'm her only nephew. I thought she loved me.
She did. She does. We both know it was me she never liked.
I'm gonna kill her.
No, don't say that. It is of the utmost importance that we keep her alive as long as we can.
Because?
Because it is the right thing to do. And because, silver lining, the two of you now have time to work on your relationship. And because, as her legal conservator, I have permission to pay us a salary commensurate with her level of care.
So as long as she's in a stupor, we get the checkbook. And if she dies, it goes to the cat place.
Palm Beach Pedigree Feline Conservancy.
Huh.
I just wanted to have it all figured out before I told you. You know, cushion the blow and all that.
Oh, I can't believe you did this for me, for us.
Oh, time to flip. Come on, here, maybe we'll take this down.
I don't know, to be honest,
How are we gonna do this?
she's kind of creeping me out. Is she looking at us?
Shh, Douglas, maybe she can hear you. On my three. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. I don't believe it. The key.
What?
We all need our own Douglas. Or Josh Lucas, I guess, too. Maxine is a woman after our own heart. She's a hustler. She doesn't like the word no. I feel like she's allergic. Talk to me about your approach in bringing her to life and how everything comes together with the costuming and.
Oh wow, that's a long. That'll be a long answer.
Take
Well,
your
I think initially, you know, Maxine is very ambitious, and she will stop at nothing to get what she wants. But I think that sort of twist in having her be always so sunny and positive while she's doing it, it makes you feel like, wait, I think I like her. I think I agree with her. It's like we wanted to make her likable even though she was doing things that maybe are kind of not that likable. So that's what I tried to do.
For the longest time, I thought Douglas was not even a real, I thought it was a figment of her imagination, but there he was. Josh, tell me about your approach to playing. He's a pilot.
You took a lot of flying lessons. Right?
I did take a lot of flying lessons. All the flying is real, of course. No, this was a dream job on so many levels. We had this group of people that came together that had a cast that was, an embarrassment of riches. And Douglas, you're right. He, in the beginning, is somebody who you kind of wonder is a figment of her imagination, like much of the things that she's doing. And then when he becomes real, like all of these characters, he's ridiculously complicated and so much fun to play.
Abe, this all started with you. This is loosely based on Mr. and Mrs. American Pie. Tell me about when you read the book and kind of how this story was, how it inspired you to make this particular story from it.
Well, I think I have an affinity for iconoclastic women, and I thought in the book there was this really charming kind of bowl in their china shop lady, and so that was the jumping off point. And but the book was originally set in Palm Springs. I was like, let's do Palm Beach because it's just a bigger canvas for us to play with, and then we built out the world. A book is one thing, and then a sustainable ongoing series is another, and so you have to make sure you have all the pieces you need. So adding characters like Carol's character and expanding Evelyn Rollins, Allison Janney's character, and then once we get a cast like this, you kind of go, oh my goodness. Have we utilized everybody to their fullest potential? And so, we wanted to leave nothing on the field when we got into production. And so the scripts were constantly changing and evolving because we wanted to color with all the crayons, that we had in our box.
We have to talk about Carol Burnett. Any Carol Burnett fans?
Yes, the legend.
She's mostly in a coma for most of the show, but she has this special relationship with Ricky that is absolutely just, it's so intimate. Even though she's in a coma, they are just...
Well, she comes out of it. She comes out of it episode 3. Yeah.
Yes.
Coma light.
But I'm talking about, from the beginning. It's so difficult when somebody's not speaking or is not present to create the intimacy that was created between those two characters.
Well, that's why she's a master. Yeah. That's what makes her a master is like even in the pilot when Kristin's monologuing to her, Carol's getting laughs in stillness. So like there's just a pervasive like positive energy and also like the love that that an audience brings to the fact that it's Carol Burnett. You're ahead of the game there because she's just so adored and she's so worthy of that adoration. She's like the most special person God ever put on the planet.
I agree.
No, and seriously, in one episode when she was full coma, she goes, I have an idea. And I went, I said, just do it. And she slightly moved one of her nostrils and then the other lip, and everybody was cracking up.
In 1972, there was an episode of Maude that tackled abortion, and something that still remains controversial today in 2024. It's something that you tackled in the first episode. Talk to me about why that was important for you to include.
Well, interestingly enough, we wrote the pilot before Dobbs. So we're not a show that is chasing the headlines, but I think that the writers are engaged enough in what's going on in the world, you're going to be prescient sort of no matter what. And so more and more as we were shooting the show and sort of the subtle politics of the show that are kind of intrinsic to the DNA of the show, they sort of happened in spite of us. So it was actually, as we're shooting the abortion storyline in the pilot, we're like, we cannot believe that the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah, and I wanted to add too, just Laura Dern's character and the bookstore having that light on what's really going on in the world was important because there were some, there was a war going on in women's rights and it's just the women that belong to Palm Royale, they're not even talking about it. They're not even like thinking about it. They're just like, where are we going to lunch? And we just, it's important. So I don't know. I think it's good to have, obviously all sides in there.
Yeah, to that, when we normally see these period type shows, we don't usually see the point of view of women of color. And that was a very big part of this one. We're seeing Black women, Latinas that are there. Yes, give it up for that. Abe, you want to talk about or Tate, if you guys want to talk about the inclusion of other points of views in this time.
Well, we're creating worlds. So we have the country club set, and then we have the bookstore set, and it's like, what's the thing that everybody shares is like this idea of wanting to belong and a search for identity among others, and that's universal. That is not, that's not something that's unique to one class of people, right? So the other part of adding the bookstore ladies, which were not in the original book, is, to Kristin's point, it sort of adds to the comedy as well, because it just highlights the delusion, right? And I feel like more and more, like even now, it's like people would rather be on social media than reading the New York Times, right? Like we're all shutting out the real world at all times. And I think that's where the show, the comedy of the show actually comes from a very sort of sad and tragic place, like all comedy does.
Josh, a little birdie told me that you were shooting Palm Royale at the same time as this other little show called Yellowstone. Is that any Yellowstone fans here? Is that true?
Yeah, I would do a lovely, incredible week of fun shooting on Palm Royale here in Los Angeles, and get on an airplane and go to Montana and slap on a mustache and be John Dutton on Saturday. And it was a bizarre transition that was, it was kind of amazing, to be honest with you, the responsibility of it. But yeah.
Did the wrong guy ever appear on the other show?
Yeah, he showed up one day in his on his horse.
I hope Abe adds that to season 2.
Uh-oh.
Kristin, we love you when you're in these girl power shows, and even though there's a lot of these women that kind of are, right? We want to support each other. There's a lot of, bitterness and between, the different sets of people, but at the end of the day, like, I feel like people can't help but love Maxine. I know I can't help but love her. What does that mean to you to get to play with all these amazing women on the show?
Well, kind of like what Abe was saying, it may seem like it's this show about these women who are being catty and whatever, but they do all share, which I think everyone can relate to, is this want to belong, this need to belong, and then asking, like, but why? Why do I feel like I need to belong to this and not just be who I am? And I think that's something really beautiful that unfolds through the season, is you start to see the cracks in these other seemingly polished, happy women. And I don't know, I love watching flawed people. I mean, it's so relatable, and I think, yeah.
Tate, what was it like to, this production design on here was incredible, costuming, just everything. What was it like to direct, and what approach did you take from the script in order to direct?
The look of the show is everything, and we had such an amazing dream team. Alex and John Carlos came together, and a funny story, I don't know if you know, is that we didn't shoot in Palm Beach. But I told John Carlos, I said, we have to go. We have to walk these streets to feel it. So we flew down to Palm Beach, and there is an exclusive club in Palm Beach that we modeled Palm Royale after, and we were not allowed to go in. Just like this. And I said, well, I'm going in that damn club. And
that's very Maxine of you.
And John,
what were you wearing?
Oh, I was in board shorts and flip-flops. And John's like, we can't go in there. I said, I'm going in. I have to walk the halls. I got to feel this. And I snuck in, and I was caught, and I was taken,
I don't know this story.
I was taken out the back door with, like, literally their hands on my arms. And I said, I get it. And so when we shot you jumping over the wall, I did this. But really, it was just, but it was so good we went. We found Norma's nursing home facade. But really, that place has not changed. And we just realized, we all talked about it, is we wanted to shoot this like an old movie. Wide shots, not over the shoulders, constant coverage, 2 shots. It was just, it's such visual candy, and I've never worked on something where so many departments who were just the top of their game all came together, and we were all making the same thing.
Yes. Kristin, can you channel Maxine and tell him what he did wrong?
What?
You gotta wear a big hat. Get in the door.
There you go. Now, we talked a little bit about my idea. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for the finale. Is this all a dream? Is Maxine really in the coma? What can you tease about the finale?
Nothing.
I think your choice of words is interesting. Is it all a dream? Because isn't that true of all of Palm Beach? Isn't everybody deluded in the show?
Yes.
So it's an interesting question you're asking.
It's a
and
great
it's
answer.
Very
It's a
satisfying.
great answer.
Yeah.
Any plans for season 2? We want more.
Apple?
You want to
From
play
your
Maxine
mouth.
some
From
more?
your mouth.
Like,
Those
tell
are
me-
exact-
I mean,
That's
I would
yours.
love it. That would be a
Don't
dream.
you guys want a season 2?
That's what-
Yes.
Nah, you got to clap harder for a season 2, you guys.
That's one of my favorite things about Carol Burnett is she's actually out on the red carpet these days begging for a season 2.
Oh, whoa.
92-year-old Carol Burnett is begging to come back. So
You ready for more?
Oh yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Bigger, better, more.
Well, as he said, with these characters, they're so rich that we just want to play with them forever.
Well, you just have to bring back this fantastic ensemble cast and just put the team back together because we can't get enough of Palm Royale, you guys. Thank you so much for joining
very
us.
much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Palm
guys.
Royale.